Christmas, greetings. Welcome to the Main Event Podcast. I'm Jez, that's Dan. It's the most wonderful time of the year once again as we discuss our 2024 year-end awards.
The most coveted thing in wrestling, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. There's the Slammies and many more.
Yeah.
But the 2024 year-end awards are the most coveted award in wrestling.
Absolutely.
Yeah, without question.
Yeah.
100% of the year-end awards have been prestigious.
Yes.
Whereas,
do not go and Google it.
Yeah. Well, the Slammies, they couldn't be bothered some years. Are there Slammies this year? No. So they obviously don't care. There's no prestige there.
No.
We haven't missed a year, and we'll ignore the fact that this is the second year-end awards show in this calendar year because we kind of left it till the first week of January to do the 2023 one, but
we'll gloss over that. We'll gloss over that.
It happened. We haven't completely skipped it like some people do. So it's all good. Anyway, two things to say. First, how are you?
I'm all good. Not bad. Getting ready for Christmas and all that, and not done all my shopping yet. So
I'm actually pretty ahead. Not to brag about it, but, as of recording here live, we are 6 days away from Christmas, and I think it's only a small handful of things left to get.
Wow.
Yeah. Mostly my wife, which is fun, but everyone else is pretty much sorted,
Your daughter's sorted?
Yeah, she's sorted. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. Can't say too much, I'm with this move up to the bedroom, like she's not that far away. She's probably still awake because, children. But yes, that is sorted. So that's thing the first. Thing the second, do you like my new T-shirt?
It's wonderful. Very good. Very, very good.
A Jez original, made by me. My loves, my beliefs.
Yeah.
Getting them in there. Yeah. I'm sure there's a plenty of people. I don't know which way to go that way. I'm sure there's plenty of people that won't understand the first checkmark reference there. I believe in a thing called love. Do you
I can just think of the song.
That's it. Yeah.
I believe in a thing called love.
That's the one. There you go. I'm glad you got it.
There we go. The darkness.
I'm sure Tamsin gets it. Hello, Tamsin. Welcome in. Anyone else
you
lurking
must get
out
it,
there?
Tamsin.
Yeah, you must get the I believe in a thing called love reference. But then, she might not get the last reference, which is really the target reference of this podcast. Yeah. But there you go.
Joe Hendry.
Yeah. Of course, she says. There you go. So yeah, those are the two things I really wanted to say, and now we can get on with the meat of the show, I suppose. That is, once we have said that this episode of the Main Event Podcast, and I want to say every episode, at least in 2024, has been sponsored by Goat Energy Drinks. And while in previous weeks I'm like, I don't want an energy drink, I want to sleep, I would like to stay awake tonight, and I'm dog tired, so I am going to crack into this funky goat. Which is...
I'm on the wine.
Well, there you go. Why not, eh? This funky goat is cherry flavoured, sugar-free cherry. There are other flavours available, including mango and watermelon, which is caffeine-free, and you can get yours at goatdrinks.co.uk. Enter the code JEZ10, 10% off and free shipping. And there's a goat emoji in the chat. You love to see it.
I love it.
Chin chin.
Cheers.
Yeah. I haven't had one of these in a few weeks, and that's good.
Some good wine,
as I remember it. What grape are you drinking, or is it just generic store-bought white wine? Yeah, but there's different types of white wine, Dan.
I'm not sure. It's from France. When we went over to France, we got a load of wine, and this is one that I liked. So
there you go. Yeah. Plonk. Tamsin says, yeah, cheap Plonk.
Yeah. Cheap Plonk. No, it wasn't cheap Plonk.
Classic Del Boy. Yeah. Le Plonk. Exactly. There you go.
Le Blanc.
I need to have a bit of a rewatch of Only Fools and Horses. It's been too long.
Love Only Fools and Horses.
There's probably plenty of references that I should be throwing out on the daily, especially working with
you should.
this bunch of cockneys down here in the southeast. So
Plonker.
Yeah. You plonker, Rodney. And there's definitely a load of fake French that I could be throwing out there to offend French people. You know, that's definitely my jam. Yeah. Bonjour, mon petit pois.
Mange tout, mange tout.
No, I've already got a mange tout thing. It's if you read it literally in English, it says "man get out." So it's "man get out." Anyway, we've gone off on a tangent. Out. Go energy drinks, buy them. It's not what's made us mad, I promise.
Well,
now the tutor, the sweeter. Stop distracting us, Tamsin. Let's get started on our first award.
Yes.
And sometimes this is quite a difficult one to give out. And this year was no exception. It's the Future Endeavour of the Year award. This award is for a wrestler superstar who has been released or left their company in this calendar year and gone on to great success, in the words of Borat,
great success,
somewhere else. You can go first. Who are you providing this award to?
So I went for Ethan Page because he left AEW and joined NXT. And AEW, he wasn't really doing anything.
He was on Ring of Honor, in fact. He wasn't even on AEW.
Yeah, that. I think he was teamed with the Hardys at one point where he was basically their whipping boy or something, or something like that. But now he's in NXT. He's flourishing. He's been NXT champion already. So good on him.
Twice?
Has it been twice?
Did he win it back?
I think it's only been once.
Or was it only the one time? I might be thinking of Trick. There's been a bit of jiggery pokery around it.
Yeah, he won it from Trick in a triple threat, but Trick didn't get pinned.
Yeah.
And then Ethan was NXT champion, and Trick won it back.
There you go. That's what I'm thinking then. But yeah, still, it was a decent reign with the championship. And have you watched this week's NXT?
Parts of it, not all of it.
So have you seen the Ethan Page bit?
No.
Okay, I won't spoil it then, but it was pretty decent. Go and make sure you go and watch it. Yeah.
Okay then.
You know, pushing the boundaries a bit on WWE with NXT on the CW. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Ethan Page is a great pick. It could have possibly been the other group that you mentioned, the Hardys, in that they left AEW and have gone on to flourish once again in TNA. But you know, they're old. They don't deserve a Future Endeavour award as far as I'm concerned. My pick is Ricochet.
Ricky O'Shea.
Old Rick O'Shea, yeah. You know, was doing okay in WWE, but they were kind of misusing him and using him as a jobber to the stars to push up new people. Case in point, he went out being annihilated by Bron Breakker. So that was an unceremonious end for him as he got put through a windscreen or something. I can't even remember.
Something like that, through a car. He got Jade Cargill.
He did get Jade Cargill, yeah, but a bit more permanently.
Yeah.
But he's gone right into the main event picture in AEW. He's in the Continental Classic. He's had great matches with Will Ospreay and Konosuke Takeshita and many more. He's in a prominent storyline with the Hurt Syndicate. So yeah, I feel like he's really home in AEW. Not to mention he's also dipped his toe in New Japan as well. And I think he's going to have a match at Wrestle Dynasty. And who isn't from AEW, frankly, going to have a match at Wrestle Dynasty, but it is a show I'm looking forward to. Good on old Ricochet.
Ricky O'Shea.
Yeah. Is there anyone that you wish you could have given this award to, but they haven't quite done enough?
I think Julia. She would have been a good one, or Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah.
They were signed but kind of sat around doing nothing for
That's the problem.
Months.
I mean, especially in Vaquer's case, she had a really hot start to 2024 and then signed with WWE and sat about for a while, so couldn't really give them an award for waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
I wanted to give the award to Nick Nemeth, but then I looked back and realised that he was released in 2023, not in 2024. But he's had a hell of a year.
He's had a great year.
It really his prominent year in TNA. So yeah, he debuted in TNA this year, didn't he? It was right at the beginning on their first TNA show back. Back at Hard to Kill. So yeah, his rise has been in 2024, but his release was not. So yeah, because that was it. His first appearance outside of WWE was at Wrestle Kingdom, wasn't it? On January the 4th last year.
Yes.
So, yeah. So didn't quite make the cut, but that would have been my pick were it permissible.
Yeah.
Now then, another category that has been difficult to name for different reasons over the years. Match of the year. I'll go first for this one, shall I?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't feel like there were real obvious standouts this year like there have been in years past.
Yeah.
So really it's kind of a best fit for this category for me, and a match that stood out for me as being memorable, be it for the right reasons or the wrong reasons, but definitely memorable, definitely went the distance and was definitely an enjoyable experience from start to finish, was the 60-minute match between MJF and Will Ospreay on the 250th episode of Dynamite. Yeah.
It's a good one.
MJF doing his little bit of comedy at the end with the oxygen mask and all of that. It just added to it for me after hanging with Will Ospreay, and not everyone can hang with Will Ospreay. MJF known more for being a good promo rather than a great technical in-ring performer, but he hung, and I felt like that was the match of the year for me.
Absolutely. So my pick was the Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40, where Cody won the belt that he's done nothing with, really. But it was a cracking match, especially as it was. What was it? Tribal rules or
was it tribal combat or tribal bloodline rules? There you go.
Bloodline rules. That's it. Cracking match. Loads of people helping and lots of faces. We had John Cena, Undertaker, The Rock, all that sort of stuff. I just thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I can see that. It completely different in style from the match that I mentioned, but definitely, the culmination of years of story and, enough technically sound things in there to put it in this category. Yeah, I can see that. And plenty of cameos, as you said. Everyone likes a cameo. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice. Well, from, the ultimate best moments to the moments we'd like to forget, but we're not allowed to. It's the aptly named Nia Jax Award, which is the award for the biggest botch of the year.
Yeah.
Things that you really wish did not happen because they ruin wrestling.
Yeah.
What have you got?
I have got Tonga Loa's debut when he crawled out from underneath the ring and pulled the ref out. But he didn't do it in time when the ref was counting, so the ref had to pull himself out.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, let's spend a moment to acknowledge our new tribal chief, Tonga Loa. Let's not forget that he is the true leader of the new bloodline. And may he heal quickly from his biceps or triceps, whatever it is, arm injury. This isn't the only Tonga Loa event of the year that you could put into this category, really.
No.
But I love it. I don't care because I love both of them, Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga, and long may they botch, as far as I'm concerned.
Now the new Nia Jaxes.
Yes, but far less offensive as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. No, mine is probably an obvious one, and it comes from somebody, unlike Nia Jax, who you could argue when she botches, it's because she's new, although she's been there for 10 years now, so maybe it's time to learn how to wrestle. Just throwing it out there.
Just saying.
This person has been in the business for almost as long as I've been alive. Longer than you've been alive, I would say.
Longer than I've been alive.
And still thought it was a great idea to leap off the top of a cage and land flat-footed rather than execute an elbow drop properly.
Yeah.
That man is Adam, don't call me Edge, Copeland. Yeah. We talked about this at great length when it happened. I don't understand why a long-serving veteran of the business thought it would be a good idea to jump 15 feet and land directly on his feet and think that there would not be consequences to his body, his aging body,
for
that matter. All you had to do was hit the elbow drop properly and you would have been fine.
Yeah.
But alas, he did not. Honourable mention to Bronson Reed, who did pretty much the same thing at Survivor Series War Games, but at least, landed the move and didn't just land straight on his feet. At least his feet caught the mat rather than just being straight into the mat. Yeah. So good job, Adam Copeland. You're in the same category as Nia Jax. Great. And on with the bad.
Yeah.
We've had the match of the year. This is the Match That Happened award. These are not forgettable necessarily, but a match of the year that is memorable for all the wrong reasons.
You go first.
Yeah.
We're going from one Nia Jax to another.
Speak of the devil, yes. My pick for the Match That Happened award is Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill, the Queen of the Ring tournament, quarterfinal, semi-final, qualifier, whatever it was, on SmackDown May 17th of this year, in which Jade Cargill got herself disqualified with a chair shot, ergo eliminating herself from the tournament. Because, of course, nobody wants to be Queen of the Ring, so you will hit people with a chair and get yourself disqualified, knowing fully the consequences of that. It was just, if you didn't want Jade Cargill to be Queen of the Ring, then why not make an excuse for why she's not in the tournament? It's like, she's busy doing tag team title stuff, or
actually doing something with the tag team titles.
Unfortunately, she wasn't available at this event, which was the opening match, so therefore she couldn't be in the tournament. Make an excuse. Don't put her in the tournament if you don't want her to actually win it. And the fact that Nia Jax went on to win is a whole other thing. But this was really where the moment for me where I'm like, right, so this Queen of the Ring tournament is nonsense. Yeah, okay, cool, good to know. Thanks very much. I can ignore it. Focus on the King of the Ring tournament instead. Yeah. Match that happened for sure.
Yeah. Now, I nearly put anything to do with the women's tag team championships.
You said that last year, so that would have been a cop out.
I know, but I was struggling to think of something, and then I suddenly thought, the Pride. The Pride. Do you remember the Pride, Jeremy?
I do. I remember ranting about why they were called the Pride, because that didn't make any sense.
Yeah. But I did the Pride versus the Final Testament at WrestleMania 40. The storyline that went nowhere.
No, much like a lot of, the Final Testament stories that they kind of just start, take ages to go somewhere, and then don't go anywhere. Yeah. I don't personally feel like that was the most match that happened match at WrestleMania 40 myself. If I was going to pick a match that happened from that event, you know what I'd put in there?
What?
Jimmy versus Jey Uso.
Yeah, there is that.
Because that was a disappointment after all the hype that went into to building that up. Big time disappointment. The spear off the stage was much better than the entire match.
Yeah.
So but I can see what you're saying. The match itself wasn't too bad, Pride and Final Testament, but it also could have been on the pre-show or not on the card, and no one would have batted an eyelid, really.
Yeah.
And notice we didn't give the Future Endeavour of the Year award to Bobby Lashley.
No, we didn't, did we?
No. It's not that he's not doing anything in AEW, but he's kind of turned up and is doing the exact same as he was in WWE for a period. So there's nothing new or groundbreaking there. It's just more of the same.
Yeah.
With MVP doing his talking for him.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's bring the energy back up.
Yes.
We've had Nia Jax's and matches that happened. Massive moment of the year. So a big key thing that happened this year that isn't a match,
Yeah.
You can go first.
Okay, well, you stole my idea. So I had to put Cody Rhodes winning the championship at WrestleMania.
It was my second choice.
Yeah. What a big moment.
Yeah, we talked about it already, really, with it being your match of the year.
Yeah.
Definitely a long time coming, and built for the whole year from losing that first WrestleMania match. So I totally get what you're saying. It's a shame that we haven't really had a massive moment around the championship since then. But
I know.
I think people are going to be calling for a Cody Rhodes heel turn soon. I
or for him to lose the belt.
I can't really think of a way of freshening things up without him turning heel. But also, I don't think people want to see him drop the belt back to Roman Reigns. I feel like they want something new and fresh in there. But
I'd love for Roman Reigns to have it back.
I'd be fine with it, but I'm not sure it does much for freshening Cody Rhodes up.
No.
Even if then at that point they did turn him heel and have heel Rhodes chase babyface Reigns, it would still be a bit done. So
who
knows where that will go. My massive moment of the year has kind of been brought back up again as of recent because it is imminent. But right back at the beginning of this year, WWE announced their Netflix deal.
Yeah.
Heavily advertised at the moment, obviously, with Raw beginning on Netflix January the 6th. But I don't think that's the biggest part of it. And the part that they're not really singing from the rooftops, and they should be, is that Netflix are the global broadcast partner for everything WWE, starting January the 6th, everywhere but the United States, including Canada. So that's huge. If you want to watch WWE outside of America, you have to go to Netflix. And that's going to do massive things for their subscription numbers, I believe.
Yeah.
I would really be interested to see how many new subscribers they get at the turn of 2025.
Probably a lot.
I definitely would. I mean, in America, fine. People will go, well, if I can only watch one show on there, then I'll, pirate that or find another way to watch it. But when it's everything, you kind of like, I'll pay the, £6 for the advert package or whatever, and get all of my WWE. Considering, if you wanted to watch all of WWE's programming in the UK for the last 30 years, you had to have a cable or satellite subscription just to get access to them paying more money for Sky Sports and then TNT Sports. And if you wanted to watch the pay-per-views on top of that, that was another tenner to the WWE network. So it's been an expensive time being a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Now, cheapest package on Netflix, £6, all in.
Banging.
Yeah, it's gonna be big things for WWE. I can see it. As if they haven't got enough fans already. But there you go. So that was my massive moment. I would kind of pair that a little bit with The Rock joining the TKO board, because that happened around definitely the same week, if not the same day. So both big moments, really. Okay, now we're into your more classic. The awards that everybody gives out, with a twist in our case. Babyface of the year, heel of the year. character work done by good guys and bad guys. Let's do the baby faces first. And I'm sure this was another one of the picks that I got in there before you and stole.
Yes.
The criteria was that they could not be identical, but I think it's only fair that I put this in there first because above all else, amongst other things, I believe in Joe Hendry. This logo's on top of Joe Hendry, but never mind.
And so do I. I believe in Joe Hendry.
I thought you believed in the British Horse Society.
I do. Well, yeah, kind of.
Sometimes, not today.
Not today.
He's out of day,
I
folks.
believe. Yeah, I believe in Joe Hendry, definitely. And you stole it as soon as I saw you put that, because you put yours in first. I just went, damn it.
But I mean, it's hard to deny the meteoric rise he has had this year.
Yeah.
Taking over the charts, getting to what was it in the end, number 4 he managed to get to, which is the highest any wrestling related song has got to, that is just wrestling related, that isn't a song in its own right already. Almost winning the TNA World Championship at Slammiversary. Debuting in NXT, getting a historic deal to be able to use the Performance Center as a TNA wrestler and all that kind of stuff. He is definitely my babyface of the year, and I think that's kind of hard to argue, really. But you've got to, because there was no agreeing. We had to each have our own entries. So who is your babyface of the year?
Mine is Jey Uso.
It's a fair choice. Yeah,
because he's had a hell of a year.
Yeet.
Intercontinental champion, even though it was for like 3 weeks.
And it took the whole year to get there, pretty much.
Yeah, but, well deserved. A hell of a run. Made such a name for himself in this past year. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think when they reformed the bloodline, the fact that Jimmy came out with Roman Reigns, but Jey still got his own entrance and was still, a sister doing it for himself and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I feel like there is a point where they've got to separate him back out again and let him do his own thing. I don't know how long the reformation of the OG bloodline is going to be, but you can't lock down Jey Uso like that. You can't lock down Sami Zayn like that for too long. So let's see where that goes. Maybe it's a heel Jey Uso that turns on Roman Reigns this time. Who knows? Maybe. But I'd like to see him win more singles gold and be in that World Heavyweight Championship or whatever championship is the main one on whatever brand he ends up on when they shuffle things around for Netflix. Yeah. Both stellar choices, I would say. I don't think you can argue the babyface of the year for either of those men. Yeah. Now, obviously, I can see what has been chosen for heel of the year, and I kind of like that we've kind of gone with the same thing, but not really here. Who is your pick for the heel of the year?
So I've gone for Liv Morgan,
and I've gone for Dominic Mysterio.
I think them together, they're doing such good work as heels at the moment, so it's just cracking work.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really been a Liv Morgan fan, so her turning heel was a bit like, she's irritating. Fair play. Yeah. Let's tap into that irritation. Yeah. It's like
that's what she's doing.
It's like that itch right in your in the area between your balls and your butt. What's that called? Your barse, your ball arse, your balls, barse.
Is it your cooch?
Yeah, I think some people call it that. Yeah. But an itch right there that you're not allowed to itch when you're out in public because it looks unseemly. That is how I've felt about Liv Morgan, and it has improved as she's been a heel because lean into that stuff. But she was born to be a heel. She's irritating.
Yeah. Perineum, I think that's the word.
I mean, that's the medical term for it. Yeah, but I don't think anybody's throwing that term out there on the streets. So Yeah. And Dominic Mysterio has still got nuclear heat and can't pick up a microphone without being booed out of the building. So no other person gets that kind of reaction.
Yeah.
If there had been a little bit more time to develop it, I would have possibly thought about giving this to the New Day as a joint award, because they have had that level of heat on Raw last week. But we're not quite there yet. Let's see how that develops. Maybe New Day, you can be the heels of the year for 2025. Yeah. Rolling swiftly forward then. Group awards. Tag team of the year, first of all. Not a great year for tag team wrestling as I looked back and reflected.
I struggled on this one.
Yeah. I had a little Google around to see what other people were saying about tag team of the year. Most are saying Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair.
Really? They don't really do much.
No. And, they only have the tag team titles because they don't want to put either of them back into the singles title picture at this point. So, yeah, I mean, having the belt the most of the year doesn't make tag team of the year for me. So I eliminated that. I've gone with DIY for my pick. Yeah, I mean, as good a year as you can have. They won the WWE Tag Team titles for the first time in their career. That they were chasing that for a very long time.
Yeah.
They've won it twice now because they've recently won it back. The heel turn was pretty good. I liked the I like that we've gone back to the Tommaso Ciampa of NXT days, and they tapped into that a little bit, and it's like, oh, he's going to betray Johnny again. He's being mean Ciampa, and he's going to throw Johnny Gargano into the stage again. It's going to be take over Brooklyn or wherever it was all over again. And then they swerved us, and they did swerve me. I was like, I didn't see that coming. Fair play. Yeah. Turn Johnny Gargano heel as well. He hasn't been heel for a while. Maybe they can get Austin Theory back in there and they can do the hand touchy thing again. Indy Hartwell's not there anymore, but whatever.
Candice LeRae's heel already, so
yeah. Why not?
There you go. We can have the family, whatever they called it.
The Way.
The Way. That's it.
Because they did this thing. Because that's what that is, isn't it? When they do that and they're touching, it makes a W between them. Yeah, it's a bit tenuous, but it was the pandemic. We went with it. Yeah,
we took what we could have.
Yeah, and that was not watching NXT in my case because I just couldn't do that on the boards all the time. It was driving me insane. Anyway, those dark days are behind us. Who is your tag team of the year?
So again, it was a tricky one, but I went for the Motor City Machine Guns.
Careful how you say that. This is a PG show.
Yeah, Motor City Machine Guns.
The mostly city. I mean, sorry. Them. Those guys.
Yeah, them. Because they debuted in WWE. They've won the WWE Tag Team Championships.
On their first night.
Their first night. So, good on them.
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument that these guys could be the Future Endeavor Award, really. They chose to leave TNA and come to WWE.
Yeah.
Long time coming. Yeah, I think the Motor City Machine Guns are a good pick. The only reason I could not put them as Tag Team of the Year is because their new entrance music is god-awful and I want it to die.
Yeah.
Raise your fist! What's that got to do with Detroit Machine Guns? Anything? Like, leave your fist where it is and just wrestle a good match. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah. Stable of the year. Not just a tag team, but a group. Who've you got?
I've got the Bloodline.
New or old?
I've kind of got them as a whole.
No, you've got to pick.
I'm going to go for the new because they have been doing tremendous work.
Yeah.
With Solo Sikoa leading, Tama Tonga Tongaloa, and Jacob Fatu, the psychopath.
I love you,
Solo. It's the way he says solo. It's not solo. It's solo.
Solo. I love you. It's a bit like Brother Love from way back in the day. Like, I love you. It's like, no, this is the Polynesian Brother Love. Solo, I love you. It's great. Yeah, it just comes out of nowhere. Like, you're just watching a match. He's not even pictured on the screen, and you just hear in the distance, Solo, I love you. And I'm like, it just cracks me up every time. Yeah,
I do love Solo. I do love Jacob Fatu. I hope he does really well in WWE.
I think he will. Yeah. I mean, it's really difficult to say where everything is going with this Bloodline versus Bloodline and Reigns versus Solo. The Rock's going to get in there at some point. How it's all going to end is anybody's guess. Will it be one mega stable led by a tribal chief, whoever that may be? Who knows? But there will be time for a lot of these guys to break out, I think. And Jacob Fatu is definitely one of the people who should break out from all of that. I'm with you. I got very excited, obviously, when Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa debuted in WWE. Another candidate, really, for the Future Endeavor award. Started the year in New Japan each, and came in and have been, dominant, won tag team titles, etc. So great pick as far as I'm concerned.
There we go. Who have you got?
I'm delving outside of WWE. It's been a bit of a WWE centric award show so far. We've had a little bit of AEW, but I'm going for TMDK as stable of the year.
Good choice.
Not only obviously because Zack Sabre Jr. won the G1, has won the IWGP World title, old Sabre bollocks, but just generally, it's been a good year for them. They've recruited some new members, a couple of young lions returning from excursion and things, settling in to the stable. Tag team titles for Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste. They won Vegeta and whatchamacallit won the World Tag League, Junior Heavyweight Tag League. So lots of accolades all round for that group. And there's a big shift going on with all of the stables in New Japan at the moment. And I feel like TMDK, easy for me to say, is coming out on top of all of them. As, the go-to stable, as the example of the baby faces in New Japan. Because Chaos are Chaos, frankly, since Okada left. What other babyface stable is there? LIJ, they kind of have a bit of a heel kind of look to them. They're a bit
kind of
rogue.
like an anti-hero sort of thing, aren't they?
They are, especially Shingo Takagi and the way that Naito acts sometimes. But for a pure babyface group, TMDK has been that for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And who doesn't love a bit of orange?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. We'll come back to the kind of more generic awards soon. Back to a main event podcast original.
Yeah.
It's the For Some Reason award. Yeah. Born from the early days of this podcast when discussing weekly WWE television, it would be this happened. For some reason, and that's really the sentiment of this award. It's like this happened. Great, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
That wasn't needed or wanted, but that certainly did happen.
Yeah.
I feel kind of just. I don't even like discussing this because it makes my blood boil.
Well, make it brief then.
Yeah. Okay. The whole MJF turning heel, Adam Cole turning face, while both of them were not there for a while and, recovering from injury, and the weird moment that they had where Adam Cole came down and confronted MJF, and no, it was the other way around, and babyface MJF kicked Adam Cole in the balls, and they were like, right, that's their rivalry resolved, then we can get on with life now, and then they immediately turned MJF heel, and it was weird. I just don't like any of the mismanagement with this rivalry. They had the best thing ever in the tag team, and I didn't even mind the turning at the end and the forming of the Undisputed Kingdom, but the Undisputed Kingdom is just a waste of space now. It's an utter joke. They've ruined absolutely every aspect of this, and I just don't understand what the logic was behind any of it. So that is my for some reason award.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
that was pretty brief for me, you've got to say.
That was brief. I was expecting a rant. I was getting ready to recline in my chair. For me, was the women's War Games match. Because did it need to be there?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's more they only had it because they felt they had to have a women's War Games match.
Yeah.
And it was thrown together.
That's the reason. It's like the only ones that had beef with each other were Liv and Rhea.
And the entire babyface team having beef with each other. But, you know.
Yeah, there is that as well. So
wasn't really the point.
No, but it's like, so it was just a flung together match. Just because it's War Games, we need a women's War Games match. That's it.
Yeah. Should have been an intergender War Games match.
Yes. Should have been.
Which we have mentioned before, so we won't dwell on again.
No.
We like a dichotomy. Back from the meh to the yeah.
Yeah.
The feud of the year. What rivalry got our blood pumping in 2024? You go first.
I have Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. They had one hell of a feud.
Yeah. It's a good choice. I thought about putting it in myself. The only reason I didn't is because of the long period in which CM Punk was injured and we had to wait for it a little bit. But it kind of worked out in their favour in the end.
Yeah.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and it certainly makes Drew McIntyre be more pissed off with CM Punk. So so that worked out fine. Yeah, I think this is a lot of people's feud of the year. It'll certainly get the mainstream vote when they talk about these kinds of things. Mine is Swerve and Hangman Page.
Yeah, good one.
As much as, you know, some people did not like the staple guns and the syringes and whatnot that culminated this rivalry, I could believe genuinely that these guys, of course, I believe in Joe Hendry. I could believe genuinely that these guys hate each other, and you know, the thing with the using his new contract money to buy his childhood home, and then Hangman Page burning it down while sitting in front of it in a like reclining chair sipping on whiskey. It's like, that was the biggest dick move that you could probably pull off. And I feel like these guys have been at it all year, and that feud will probably last forever. They'll probably get back to it in 2025 once they've, you know, remembered that they hate each other. Yeah, I dig it. One of the few things that AEW have done right in 2024 was this feud between Swerve and Hangman.
It's very few things, though.
Yeah, it hasn't been a great year for AEW.
No.
And it hurts me to say that because 2023 was cracking.
Yeah.
I'd argue that they were on par with WWE in 23, but 24 has been a step back.
Yeah.
Big time. Not many categories left to go.
No.
And we really are on the classics now.
Yeah.
We separate out Wrestler of the Year from Superstar of the Year. Because as far as we're concerned, they're two distinct things.
Yes,
Wrestler of the Year goes to the technical in-ring specialist that has done it the best. And the Superstar of the Year is more the promo guy, the all-round entertainer.
Yeah.
So we have male and female in each of those categories. Do you want to do wrestler or superstars first?
Shall we do wrestler?
Okay, let's do wrestler. Let's start with female wrestler first. This this was quite difficult for me. Women's wrestling has been really good in 2024, but that's it. Like I think it's been more. It hasn't been women's wrestling has been great. It's been women's entertainment has been great across the year. I've given Female Wrestler of the Year to Jordynne Grace.
Well, yeah.
In much the same reason that Joe Hendry is the babyface of the year. He's been across multiple companies, you know, several excellent matches across 2 companies. They've kind of paralleled each other.
Yeah.
Except Jordynne Grace obviously didn't reach number 4 in the charts, but you know, not everybody can, frankly. But Jordynne Grace has had a banner year and has continued to be one of the best wrestlers in the world while doing so. Probably going to be signed to WWE in 2025. So
yeah,
Jordynne Grace is my Female Wrestler of the Year.
There we go. So mine, even though she's ditched the gimmick that we all loved, is Toni Storm. Because admittedly, even though she had this fantastic gimmick, she was very good in the ring. Yeah, there you go, like that. Just like that. I'll tell you what, you did that, and I just thought, Christ, I didn't realise I was on the call with Toni Storm, man.
Timeless Toni Storm.
Timeless Toni Storm.
Thank you.
Yeah, so she's done cracking this year, I think, until recently. But we'll gloss over that. But yeah, she gets it for me.
Yeah, not only an entertaining character, and obviously you would probably lean towards her entertainment value more so than her in-ring work, but you know, carried the women's division of AEW for most of the year, having to overcome the massive handicap of the other women's champion in the company being Mercedes Moné. So kudos
Mercedes Moné, who's never going to lose that championship.
No, either championship that she's got. Well, she might lose the strong title because she doesn't have creative control over that. But yeah, she will be the forever TBS champion, and that's not a good thing. Anyway, this isn't the overrated hack of the year. This is the Female Wrestler of the Year. But we've done that. Let's move on to Male Wrestler of the Year. And this is who gets in there first kind of thing, really. And I got in there first. The undisputed Male Wrestler of the Year is Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, I wanted that one.
There really isn't any argument, and anybody else that is picked is a second choice. So we'll hear your second choice in a minute. But you know, G1 champion, not first British G1 champion, but you know, one of the few. First British IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, because Will Ospreay won a different belt. And has had the greatest technical matches along the road to the top. You kind of forget it was this year, but started off the year with an absolute banger against Bryan Danielson on a random January show. It wasn't even like at Wrestle Kingdom or anything. It was just a random show. I think it might even have been like New Year's Dash the day after or some nonsense. It's just, we'll just do this absolute 5-star, 6-star match of the year candidate on a random show again in front of 20 people at Korakuen Hall or whatever. Yeah. Madness, but it was everything you'd expect it to be.
It was more banging.
As you know, what was obviously the start of Bryan Danielson's retirement tour. So Zack Sabre Jr., the undisputed Male Wrestler of the Year. Yeah. Who got second?
So I went for Will Ospreay because he's had a cracking year.
He has.
He's always great in the ring. He's fantastic in the ring, and he's done so well. He won the, what do they call it, International Championship.
Correct.
You know, so kudos to him.
Another, potential candidate that we could have said for future endeavor of the year, because lest we forget, he started 2024 with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely.
His last match was the bloodbath in Osaka, in which Hanare almost died. So
yeah,
that was this year. It's been a year for wrestling, and
been a year,
and I have enjoyed it. It's been a cracking year for wrestling. Yeah. Superstars of the year, then. Let's flip it around and do the male superstar of the year first. Who do you have?
So, same as my baby face of the year, I went for Jey Uso. Because, again, he's been cracking all year. He's been so entertaining, especially with his yeet and getting the crowd going and his microphone technique and in the ring and everything. He's just been on the top of his game.
Yeah, when you think about the superstar of the year, it's got to have that crowd involvement and have the crowd behind them. And Jey Uso, I wouldn't even say arguably, Jey Uso has had the biggest babyface reaction of anyone from the crowd. Like the whole arena's just pumping and yeeting along. You know, even got Pat McAfee doing it on the commentary table. Even got Michael Cole yeeting at some point. I think even Joe Tessitore's got involved in that as well. So yeah, I see where you're coming from, Jey Uso. He worthy male superstar of the year. Mine might be a bit of a controversial choice, but par for the course really when you're talking about this man. My male superstar of the year is CM Punk. Returned at the end of 2023 to WWE and has kind of been on a redemption tour in some ways. See, I wasn't the problem in AEW. AEW was the problem, or some of the elements in AEW were the problem. And as far as I'm concerned, has completely redeemed himself of all of the nonsense that took place in AEW. While having massive crowd reactions, while having decent matches. You know, we neither of us picked it, but I think the Hell in a Cell match between he and Drew could have been up there as match of the year, and I think that will probably win WWE's own match of the year. I think that's probably what they will pick. And so I think CM Punk is my male superstar of the year.
There we go.
I did not think I would be saying that in 2024, even after he returned to AEW, but here we are.
Here we are, and you've said it. It's now in the history books.
At the most prestigious wrestling award show.
No one's going to listen to any other award show, just this one. Sponsored by Goat Energy.
Yeah. I mean, we probably should have made these sponsored, shouldn't we? You know, the GOAT wrestler of the year.
Yeah.
Or just, instead of male superstar, the male GOAT of the year. It would go along with the yeet. Females then. Female superstar of the year. Has already been mentioned on this show. I called her irritating as hell, but yet I've made her the female superstar of the year. Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
You know, Meteoric Rise has really made the most of every opportunity that she's had this year. First women's crown jewel champion, as much as that title is utter nonsense. You know, it's still an accolade that's going to be indelibly linked with her career, so whatever. And has been women's world champion for the majority of this year. Don't really think I need to argue the point much more.
No, you don't.
Who's yours?
So I've gone for Rhea Ripley. Because you got to admit, she's been entertaining.
Yes.
Especially when she comes out and just headbutts people. You got to love it.
Yeah. I you know, it was a toss-up between Liv and Rhea for me. Rhea has spent a lot of this year on the shelf, unfortunately. I kind of like to imagine what life would have been like in a year where Rhea Ripley wasn't injured for most of it. And I feel like they might have resolved this issue with Liv Morgan by now, had that been the case. But you could say the same for, you know, Liv Morgan being injured at the end of last year as well. It's been drawn out by injury on both sides. and that's kind of worked for them in the end.
Yeah, it has.
You can't really knock it.
Yeah.
Is it Raw on Netflix debut that they're finally doing this again?
Yes, I think it is for the Women's World Championship, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know if they were doing it then or if they're dragging it out to Saturday night's main event at the end of January.
Well, they did it. They did it at the press conference for
Netflix.
The
There you are.
Raw's
Then
first Netflix.
It must be
where that's when they were face to face, and a child shouted out, "I love you, Rhea," and Rhea just said, without turning her head, still looking at Liv, just said, "I love you, small child."
Okay, I need to watch this press conference because that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was quite funny. Just that bit was funny. She just says, "I love you, too,
I love you, small child." Okay, cool.
Just staring at Liv still.
Nice. Yeah. Well, for that and many other reasons, it's easy to see why Rhea Ripley is your female superstar of the year. And finally, might be going out with a bit of a fizzle here. But, and as important an award as any, the pay-per-view / PLE of the year. Of the year, for some reason. I've got it twice. PLE, pay-per-view of the year of the year.
Pay-per-view, PLE of the year of the year.
Yeah, well, that's what it's called now. It's written down. Can't argue with it. What is your pay-per-view / PLE of the year?
So you took the one I wanted. So I had to choose a different one. And I went for actually WWE Backlash.
I considered that too.
Mostly because of the crowd.
Yep.
It was rocking, especially when AJ Styles came out. And they did the phenomenal, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And when the hard cam was on him, it was visibly shaking because they were making such a racket. It was such an amazing thing.
Yeah. If there was an award for crowd of the year, it would definitely be the French crowd at Backlash. Yeah. And it was a decent enough event.
Yeah.
It wasn't a standout event for me for what happened in it because it was kind of phoned in post WrestleMania, a lot of repeats, a lot of, whatever. But I can see why you picked that. This is probably the first year in which neither of us have even, sniffed at putting an AEW event.
No, I didn't at all.
Yeah, no, they've been a bit better in terms of not being 10 years long, but even so,
they're still long.
There's still a lot of filler and things that don't need to be on pay-per-view. Especially when they give away pay-per-view matches on Dynamite every week. It's a mess. It's all over the place. Anyway,
Tony, are you listening? You better be.
Yeah, sleigh bells ring. Are you listening? AEW, it's not glistening. Not a beautiful sight. We're unhappy tonight. Good. Walking in an all elite wasteland. Boom.
That needs to be on a shirt.
Yeah. My premium live event of the year, letting you know that it's a WWE event, is WrestleMania 40 Night 2.
What a cracker.
Yeah. We were off to a bit of a shaky start with night one. We're like, is this going to be a massive disappointment? But it brought itself back again. This year, more than any other year, it felt like WrestleMania night one was setting up for night two. WrestleMania night one walked so that WrestleMania night two could run.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They brought it all together for night two. I couldn't give it to WrestleMania as a whole.
No.
But WrestleMania Night 2, it banged, as the kids like to say. Culminating, obviously, in the things we've already talked about with the main event and the massive moment of Cody Rhodes finally winning the championship.
Yeah.
But more so than that, I feel like WrestleMania this year was a real kind of passing of the torch moment for the Vince era, if you want to call it that. All of WWE up to now, to the new WWE led by TKO and Triple H, and it being just a fresh start, devoid of all of the controversy that Vince left behind.
Yes.
A true new beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting because they are really touting this move to Netflix as being a new beginning for WWE. And I don't know. I'm not sure I can take any more better, to be honest. Like, you think about when this show started, it started mainly so that we could rant about how bad WWE was.
Yeah.
There was no alternative. It was just WWE. It was the only show in town. And it was mainly just us crying into microphones about how bad things were.
Yeah.
People coming to the ring with fake fluffy spiders in cages.
Yeah.
And
oh God, that.
And interracial relationships between Bobby Lashley and Lana and all kinds of utter nonsense. They were just like, seriously, this is what wrestling has become.
The definition of Vince McMahon.
It was just a therapy session for us, basically. But then slowly but surely, as AEW came in and improved things, and we came through the pandemic, all of that kind of stuff, we are out the other end, and wrestling is fantastic again.
It is cracking.
How's it going to get any better? That's the question.
I hope it does get better.
They say it's going to. Can't wait to see it. There you go. That is the pay-per-view / premium live event of the year.
Yeah.
That's what it's called now. And that is the end of the 2024 year-end awards. Yeah. I feel like we've given out some good awards there. Some very deserving winners.
Yeah.
What I should also say as we come to a close is that obviously you are the new world prediction champion for the Main Event podcast. The belt is in transit. Unfortunately, Dan has been rudely working and unavailable to take in parcels.
How dare I earn money to live?
Yeah, I wouldn't personally. I'd stay in the house and wait for your championship belt to arrive. But each to their own, I suppose.
You do.
Yeah, I don't anymore. But
no, you don't anymore. I used to.
I've got a special parcel box for that, so that people can leave me parcels, even though I, now have to work as well. So maybe consider.
Well, apparently, this one had to be signed for.
Well, yeah, of course it is. It's the most prestigious championship belt in all of wrestling. Of course, you've got to sign for it. Like, you saw the Crown Jewel Championship came in that massive briefcase with several security guards.
Yeah.
That ain't got nothing on the Main Event Podcast World Prediction Championship, let me tell you. And came in an armoured van, surrounded
in Royal Mail,
surrounded by snipers, so that the Royal Mail guy in his shorts, classically, could come and knock on your door and find that you weren't fricking there, were you? No. So
the thing that annoys me is normally they just, even if it needs a ticket, they just leave it by my front door.
Yeah, I would not have been happy if they'd have done that, to be fair. So, good job, Royal Mail. Take it to his place of work or something, I don't know. Maybe I should have addressed it to your place of work. Maybe. But anyway, when we return in 2025, that belt will be on Dan's shoulder. And
it will be.
And I will be well on my way to winning it back if
no, you won't.
The last few weeks of events have anything to say about it.
No, you won't.
We'll have a big scores update on the first show of 2025. As we bring ourselves ever closer to the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And get ready for what wrestling is going to be in 2025. Can't wait for it.
Yeah.
Until 2025, have yourself a merry little Christmas. I've been Jez.
I've been Dan.
And this has been another year of the Main Event Podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.
Goats up. Good night.
Bye.